Welcome to another Todd's
2-Minute Tech Tip Tuesday.
Brought to you by the National RV Training Academy, the only academy that gives you the credentials to become a certified tech and/or certified inspector. All right, so what are we doing today, Tony?
Well, today we are going to answer a ton of questions. Now, we asked a simple post on YouTube and received over 100 answers, and that was, what would you like to see in your next Tech Tuesday?
So it's almost more like 100 questions.
We'll just jump right in, right?
And some of these are going to be opinion-based because there's more than one right way, and it seemed the question itself was opinion.
I think the majority of them are opinion-based.
Right. We're going, oh, Todd said this is the only way.
Yeah.
Just the best way.
Well, Todd's way is typically the right way.
Yeah.
I would agree. All right, so James Martin is our first one.
Hey, James.
Hi, James.
How you doing?
How do the experts deal with a non-walk-on roof to repair seals and maintain AC coils? Now, first, how do you know it's a non-walk-on roof?
Okay. So typically, and there's just a rule of thumb that we use, if there's no ladder already implanted on the RV, then don't walk on it. A lot of times what we have is just 1/4-inch Luan paneling going across the top with 4-foot spans. They're not built to walk on. So now the experts aren't going to walk on it. They're going to have scaffolding on the sides, and they'll address that, especially when it comes to seals. They can still do that from the side, even with a ladder, getting up on the ladder and carefully, moving that ladder. It does take time, but that's how you preserve that 1/4-inch Luan paneling. One thing you can do is get some 1/2-inch plywood, cut that in, half, so you got a 4-foot by 4-foot section. You can lay that on the roof and then hands and knees, always hands and knees, never stand, distribute your weight across that piece of plywood.
But to be safe, try to get to it from a ladder from the side.
Everything that you can. If you're just, resealing, that's pretty much on the edges. If you, must get over there, again, spread out, hands and knees, and then, of course, do your sealing.
All right. So, of course, this is going to be broken up into multiple Tech Tip Tuesdays. So, next one, Darren Bonak, hopefully I pronounced that right. How to zero out auto level.
Okay, how to zero out auto level. Now, I'll confine this answer to the Lippert system. If you have the Lippert ground control, all you have to do is, with the system off, is you're going to hit the up button either 6 or 10 times, depending on if it's an older unit or newer unit. So typically, if you just go up 10 times, down 10 times, you're going to go into a zero calibration mode. Okay, now when you do that, you are manually resetting your level. So what will happen is the system will come on and it will say manually go ahead and adjust. So now you're going to use a bullet level on the floor. You're going to go get both your forward and aft, and of course your left and right, and I don't know those terms. Whatever that is.
Left and right.
Yeah, left and right, forward and back, left and right.
Stem to stern.
Stem to stern. Once you get that, then you can go ahead and hit the enter button. It'll say, okay, this is our new zero. So the system will go ahead and take that. So from time to time, you do have to do that because, of course, those little devices in there, they'll get off a little bit. They've got somehow out of calibration, bumps or whatnot. You just recalibrate it.
So really important to get that right.
Yeah.
All right. Love to Wander asks, wet bolt, what is it?
It's a bolt that's wet.
Okay. Check.
So, yeah. Next. Actually, a wet bolt is actually a bolt that has been drilled out, milled out with a Zerk fitting on there, and that's actually just a little fitting that we can add grease into, and what we're doing is we're shooting grease down that bolt into a particular shaft, and that allows for us to lube it through the bolt. Now, they are great on one hand that you're able to do that, ease of use, but on secondly, you've drilled out a hole, so you've taken away some of the structural integrity. So there's differences of opinion whether those are beneficial or not.
Now, you mentioned we're going to do an actual standalone video on
suspension
and stuff, but you mentioned to me a long time ago when we bought our first fifth wheel, it was your Todd's rule of thumb. Every time you fill up gas, you shoot it.
Yeah. Use your temp gun or your heat gun and go ahead and hit your spindles, which is just right there where that wheel hub is, okay? And what you're looking for is consistency between all the hubs, okay? Typically, it's gonna be about 10 to 15 degrees hotter than if you shoot the asphalt, okay? if you're seeing marketable differences in temperature, 50, 75 degrees, then we know that whichever one is the hottest, we know there's no lube in there. Now, I will say that Zerk fittings, if you actually ask the experts, they don't like them because we tend to think of those as replacements of repacking the system. That's there for emergency. When it's 100, it's 75 degrees hotter, we can go ahead and pack that, repack that in order to get to a location where we can have it repacked.
Who's this?
Sue Buckway.
Sue Buckway. This year we're surrounded by 3 very large wildfires. What would you be looking for after heavy smoke and ash raining down for 4 months?
Yeah, so several things. Of course, you have the outside, which you want to go ahead and clean. Maybe some simple green to clean off the sides. Up top, that once that ash gets in there, it's probably going to discolor the rubber membrane. So in some cases, we want to use some denatured alcohol, gloves, denatured alcohol to try and get some of that color back, Now, here's the thing that we also have to think about. If you're running your air conditioners, all of that ash gets into your coils. You'll go ahead and clean out your air conditioning coils. If you're running your heater, that's getting into, of course, in your furnace, into the air intake. So there's all of these things where air may be able to go into. That ash needs to be cleaned out. So a good cleaning and servicing of all the appliances.
All right, and this is the last one for this Tech Tuesday. And again, we're going to do a handful of these, so make sure you tune in. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and we'll add them to the list. Red says, and the guy's name is Red, R-E-D, leaks, exclamation point. How to fix crimped ends on my water lines that are leaking.
Ooh, well, you got a little bit there. If you got crimped ends and they are leaking, then they either need to be re-crimped or at least deadheaded. Now, you can get out there and you can, of course, cut the pressure, drain the water from that, cut that tip off. Now, if it's not going anywhere, we can, rather than crimping it, you can get a compression fitting with a closed-end cap to go ahead and close off that end run of that plumbing. Now, if it's going somewhere else, and let's say you got a kink, it's just best to go ahead and replace that kinked area, bring in maybe a fitting, a 45 or a 90 fitting, and get a smooth transition in that turn versus a crimp. Don't forget to like and subscribe right here. Hit the little bell. If you want to be able to fix the majority of the problems on your rig, or let's say you want to open up a business, become a certified inspector or a certified RV technician, head over to our website at nrvta.com, click on programs, and get started today.
If I turn this around, will you be tempted to stare at it?
Hey, welcome to Tech Tip Tuesday.
Well, that's a very laid-back Tuesday.
Yeah, this is Todd.
This is Tony.
It's Tony.
How are you today? All right. Well, that's it for this time. Please go ahead and like and subscribe this video. I'm not great at this.
Smooth jazz.
Send it to your friends. Let everybody know.
Hit the bell. Smash the bell.
Smash the bell.
Yeah, it's Christmas time. Ding, ding, ding.
Ah!
Shock.
Did you hear that?
Hey, don't forget to like and describe. Just describe what your questions are.
Don't forget to like and describe to your friends what you just saw.